Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to be embarking on yet another journey of designing and 3D printing some custom parts for my C5 Corvette that I will put on my Etsy store for sale. Now, what is this part? So it's nothing functional or really, a gain in performance. It's for strictly aesthetics, and it's just a simple kind of modern looking Fender emblem just above the front fender kind of vent there. The Z06 variant of the C5s have a little emblem there, but the base C5 coupes do not. I like the font of the kind of new C7 C8 look, so I thought I'd take my own stab at giving a C5 rendition of that. So that's what I'm showing you guys on the screen here is my SolidWorks file that I had been working on. So it kind of gives a little bit of a modern look to the C5 logo. This is again completely custom, not based really anything. It's roughly based off kind of the style of the C8 logo, but this is all strictly my own design, and I have to do that because the Corvette logos are strictly and very much so copyrighted. So in addition to what you're seeing on the screen here of the actual logo are some mounting jigs. So on this one you can see the D indicating for the driver side and the other one showing the P for the passenger side with the little arrow. And that'll all make sense here in the coming clips as I show you guys how to actually install this thing. So if you go ahead and actually buy one of these kits on my Etsy store, link for the parts are in the description. The emblems will come as a set for both the left and right side, or driver and passenger side. So you can reference back to this video when you're putting on yours to help guide you through the installation process. So I'm getting the printer all loaded up with another fresh spool of the ASA material. So if you guys haven't watched any of my other videos before, what I most commonly print with for car parts is a material called ASA, acrylonitrile styrene acrylate, if you're a polymer geek. But basically it means that this polymer is of the higher end of the desktop polymers. Now there are some definitely very much so engineering grade performance polymers out there, especially when it comes to the carbon filled stuff, but this ASA stuff I've had really good success printing and working with, and so it's really great at UV resistance and relative heat resistance. So it's great for car parts such as these. So I'm getting the build plates set up with 2 sets of each, so a passenger set and a driver set of the side emblem logo, and then the installation jig for each side. And that way I figured, if I designed in this little jig, it's just that much easier to install these things. And if you're anything like me, I'm really kind of nitpicky about how the emblems are level and the spacing and everything. And even though you can't ever view both sides of the car at the same time unless you're looking at pictures side by side, I still like knowing that they are installed in roughly the same position and spacing. So getting the exhaust fan going on my 3D printing enclosure, because when you do 3D print with ASA, it does make some gnarly fumes. It's not honestly that bad, but this is a safety precaution, so if you print with ASA, definitely look at getting an exhaust fan. So and I think not more than an hour later, I've had my first batch out, but you can see I did have a little bit of warping with one of the mounting jigs, so I'm gonna have to kind of redesign this a little bit. That's the biggest thing that I've run into with this material, is any bit of warping or distortion during the build, if there's any hard edges. I really don't like printing with brims because it makes cleanup that much more challenging. So a brim would definitely solve this by increasing the footprint area of that little part of the mounting jig, but again, it just means that I've got to sit there with an X-Acto and clean it up, and it's just that much more of a pain. But the logos themselves turned out great. No warping, no lifting off the build plate. So I'm going to go back in and redesign those mounting jigs for a few different reasons, but especially to combat that warping. And as you can see, I also use a little bit of a glue stick to help promote a little bit better adhesion to the build plate. So I'm now flexing the build plate, popping these things off. Obviously wait for them to cool down because it's just that much easier. And so now I will get to prepping the logos with the adhesive backing. Although I'll probably, I think how I've structured the video here is I'm going to show a few more clips of me refining the installation jig first. So applying another thin layer of the glue stick before I start that build. And so now I'm kind of just laying out exactly what the logo placement will look like in the jig. So they're mirrored images of each other, hence the driver and passenger side. And so that way it'll just allow you to get that, you know, an easy way to get that consistent spacing and placement and levelness on the car. So try to adjust. I think I might have increased the build plate temperature on this one, but still had warping on literally that same spot. So it's kind of interesting there. So definitely kind of working through in troubleshooting mode right now. You know, the part still would function as I need it to, but to give you guys the most quality product possible, I would not ever ship something like that. So that's when I went in and refined the jig. So I added a much thicker, larger tab with a bigger surface area in the area that it was warping, which also allowed me to increase the size of the font and indentation in the jig. So it's just that much more easily to readable when you're, you know, picking which one to use for each side accordingly, based on whether it's listed with a P or a D for the driver and passenger side. So definitely the first step that you're gonna want to do before installing these, and I'm kind of just showing you guys a little bit of a before shot of the car. So obviously the car is very clean, and maybe these emblems aren't for everyone. You know, everyone has their own personal taste with little things like this on the car, you know, and I thought I would just try it and stick them on, and I actually turned out really liking them. So that's why I went ahead and, you know, decided to make this video and actually sell them as a product on my Etsy store. So now what I'm doing is laying out exactly kind of how you want to start your installation process. So you're going to start from that top kind of corner that I just outlined and lay down a nice, you know, vertically oriented, as vertical as possible, blue strip or a strip of blue tape, and that's going to be your main guide. And then if you don't have one of these, you should still be able to make it work with a regular tape measure, but these little flexible tape measures will just make your life that much easier. So what you're going to want to do is put the start of the tape measure right at the very top of that blue tape mark, right at that corner, and run it, you know, parallel with the blue tape all the way down, and secure that in at least 2 places to hold it in place while you're working on the installation here. And this next part is all personal preference, but you know, for me, I chose a specific distance down from the top of that fender area, and that was let's see, I think it was 10 3/4 of an inch, but we'll see if what I mark here in a second. Yep, 10 3/4. So you can choose to go higher or lower, you know, depending on your taste. But that was just kind of, after mocking it up a few different times, that was kind of the position that I liked, based on how the other emblem is installed on the stock like OEM emblem is installed on the C5 Z06. So now the next part, and this is actually not something that if you purchase this you're gonna have to do. This is something that the emblems will already come, you know, they'll ship with the adhesive backing on it, but I just wanted to show this part of the process. So the part in green is a little bit of an assembly jig. So I basically took a mirror of the logo and created the indentations so they sit kind of facing backwards. And now I'm using that little other green piece to cut exact, I believe, 1-inch strips of this 1/4 inch wide Addimotive 3M adhesive, double-sided adhesive. And then I'm applying obviously just one side if this was a product that I was going to be selling, but in this case I'm applying it on one side, and then I'll be peeling off the other backing momentarily here. So that's the look of the product that you will get shipped to you if you decide to purchase a set. So you get a passenger side jig, a driver side jig, and 2 logo sets with the adhesive backing already applied. So the first step after laying off that initial layer of blue tape and setting your distance down from the top of the fender is definitely give the panel a good cleaning with some IPA. I like IPA because it just flashes off very quickly versus like a soapy water. You know, you could have some residual soap or water that stays on the surface and it might not stick as well to your adhesive. So this part, just bear in mind, so my car was actually up on jack stands while I was doing this because I was installing the side skirts and front splitter on this car. So just keep in mind that if you do use a bubble level like I did, especially if your garage is sloped, your car may not actually be level. So I actually had to go back in and redo the passenger side because even though the bubble level was level, the car was not. So the emblems were set at a little bit of an angle and it just looked a little funny. So just keep that in mind if you use a level to set this. And you can see that the emblem in this case or the jig is raked up towards the front just a little bit. And that was because I eyeballed this side after using the bubble level because thought it didn't look right, and then didn't replicate my process on the other side. And so I went back and redid that. So that's what it's going to look like with the jig taped up on there, and the logo set and placed with the double-sided adhesive holding it in place. So the jig definitely really helped to just make the process that much easier, that much smoother. And you know, I thought it was just a nice reassuring way to know that for the most part they're roughly between the two sides going to be in the same position and spacing if you use that blue tape kind of indicator from the top of the fender. So here's a little bit of an after shot with the logo applied with nothing else in the way, so you can kind of get a good idea of what it looks like to see if this interests you. Now keep in mind, like I said, my car's on jack stands, hence why the wheel fender gap there, or tire fender gap, is enormous. I think I do include some shots at the end of the video with the car off the jack stand so you can get a better idea. But that's just to give you a good quick glimpse of what the logos look like. You know, you could play around with the spacing. You could bring it up a little bit higher off that body line stemming from that vent. I probably wouldn't go any lower than that, but you know, that's all, again, personal preference. But 10.75 is kind of just what I found was, at least for the time being, what I liked. And you know, I can always go back in and print another set or take them off, reapply new adhesive, and so on. So now, like I said, for this side, we'll be using the passenger side emblem, and then you're going to line up that arrow, the tip of that arrow, with the forward edge of your blue tape or measuring tape, depending on whichever you have on there, just like that. So that's what's going to set your spacing. Or, you know, if you don't like that spacing, you can just adjust it accordingly, and at least you have a jig that you can use for consistency across both sides. So now, getting the jig taped up on there, one little piece on the back and one little piece on the front. So you can see, use the bubble level. The car is not perfectly level, especially because it's sitting on jack stands. And so when I pulled this off, I think the emblems are raked down towards the front just a hair. So just keep that in mind. Sometimes eyeballing it, honestly, is the better way to do it if you have a jig like this. Because the bubble level will only go to what it knows. It doesn't know that your garage is sloped or if your car is on jack stands. And in this case, the front of the car was higher than the rear of the car. But with slope from the garage floor slab, maybe that was different even then. So, but here's a look at how the passenger side looks. So again, pretty snazzy looking. I think it looks cool. It just gives the car a little bit extra customization and flavor, a little bit of a modernization to it too. You know, these cars don't really have any other emblems aside from what's on the front bumper, the rear hatch, and then the rear bumper where it's embossed into the rear bumper between the taillights. So just kind of a small little touch. And you know, I think the sizing fits overall with just the size of the car and where it's located. But you might look at this and be like, I don't like that, and that's totally okay. Everyone has their own personal taste, and you know, some people may like this and some people may not. Some people may just prefer the complete clean look to it. Some people don't even like the body side molding on the side of the car that splits the door. For me, the body side molding was already on the car when I got it, and I don't want to risk ripping off paint trying to get that off. So I'm just leaving it on because it really doesn't bother me that much. And so here's what it looked like, what it looks like with the car out on the ground, not on jack stands, just to give you a better idea. So here's the current look of my C5. already working on some new mods right now for the summertime. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any interest in purchasing a set of these, like I said, the link is in the description and pinned in the comments below to my Etsy store, where you can buy yourself a set of 3D printed, custom, modern looking C5 Corvette fender spacers. So thanks guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, subscribe for more videos to come around the Corvette and 3D printing. And other than that, I will see y'all in the next one.